Alright, welcome to this next episode of Fire Emblem Path of Radiance for Newcomers. I'm Jokester1801 and welcome, or let's get started. Alright, so here we are on Chapter 4, Roadside Battle. Who's that? Back to the fort we are. Ike, I've got to tell you something. Listen to this. Settle down, miss. It's too early for you to be yelling like that. Now what's going on? Soren's back. He just arrived. Really? That's odd. He wasn't supposed to return for a while yet. I know. I wonder what he's doing back so soon. It's probably nothing to worry about. I'll go and talk to him. Where is he? In the mess hall. I think he wanted to talk to Father. Right. I'll go check there. Troubling news indeed. Gather the troops. Yes, Commander. Ike, if you got time to waste, you've got time to work. Get over to the briefing room. Yes, sir. Hey, what's going on around here? Bad news. Something big is happening, and we need to formulate a plan of action. Soren! Hello, Ike. Long time no see. I'm happy to see you're back. But what happened? I thought you were going to be studying for a while longer. It's a long story. What's the holdup? Get over here, now! Let's go. I'll fill you in later. You probably remember that Soren's been training with another mercenary group. Well, he's back now. And he has some unbelievable news. What news is that? It's Crimea and Daein. They've gone to war. War? It can't be. That's why I've called everyone here. Soren has some more information. Go ahead, Soren. Alright. It's map time. Take a look at this map. Ah, it's a map of Crimea. Quite detailed from the looks of it. Yes, this is Melior, Crimea's capital. Our base of operations is right about here. Everything started 3 days ago. I needed to do some research, so I went to the archives of Melior's Royal Library. Without warning, the scream of a terrible beast, the wyvern perhaps, rent the air, and the building was rocked by a tremor. I rushed outside and saw wave after wave of knights, cavalry, and wyvern riders, each clad in glistening ebon armor, black as night. The Daein army? Correct. Was there provocation? As you know, relations between Crimea and Daein have never been friendly. However, the past centuries have seen only minor skirmishes, nothing that has ever approached the scale of this attack. It was brutal and without warning. Daein laid the capital to waste, and I've never seen destruction on this scale before. A swift attack, devastating and brutal. A daring gambit indeed. But if it succeeds, a very well chosen one at that. Yes, the King of Daein would not hesitate to employ such treacherous tactics. What happened next? King Crimea's brother deployed the Crimean army to meet the attack. The king ordered his people to flee the city before the battle reached them. Fearing the worst, I also fled and made my way here. So we don't know how the tides of battle flow now, do we? That's alright. Word of the war cannot have traveled far yet. We may well be the first ones who know of it out here. You did well to bring us this information, Soren. I know some risk was involved. It was nothing. Daein has invaded Crimea. We may be mercenaries, but this still affects us. What are we going to do? That's the question of the day. How do you see it, Titanium? Crimea is the closest thing our company has to a homeland. The Crimean royal family and noble houses have been generous, providing us with many lucrative jobs. From a moral standpoint, as well as a business one, it's in our best interest to help Crimea. And you, Soren? I agree on one point. We are mercenaries. We are not Crimea's private militia. No coin has crossed our palms, so I think we should stay out of it. So you would have us sit and watch as Crimea is overrun? I would. Dane's troops are superior in both numbers and morale. The chances of a Crimean victory are slim indeed. But Crimea is ruled by King Raymond, who is known throughout the land for his wisdom, and his brother Duke Renning is said to possess peerless valor and courage. Daein may not find victory so easily. Valor and courage are for children's tales. In terms of military prowess, Dane's King Ashnard is every bit Lord Renning's equal. Victory will hinge on troops and supplies, and Daein is superior in both. I think the outcome is painfully obvious. Curse you, Soren! Crimea is not doomed! If they can turn aside Dane's initial thrust and turn it into a test of endurance, with the Crimean army both demoralized and ill-prepared, they simply will not be able to hold out that long. Alright, that's enough, both of you. I hear what you say. However, we must ascertain the current situation before we decide on any action. We'll send a scouting party to get a closer look at Melior. Ike, I want you in charge of this. Assemble your men and get going. What? Me? Titania will accompany you as an advisor. Commander, you must be joking. He's just a boy. And he's had barely more than a taste of battle. Fair point, Shinon, fair point. What do you expect a whelp like him to accomplish? Ah, Shinon, since you're so concerned, we can go as well. Wait, that's not what I blast. Who else? Gatry, Briss, and Soren. That should do. Father, wait, why do you want me? That was an order. Get moving. There's no time to waste. Yes, sir. Titania, I'm going out for a bit. I want you to give Ike some direction. Understood. Yes, sir. Ike, wait up. What? Here, this is for you. The regal sword. A sword? Where did you get it? From Father. He told me to come and give it to you. It's beautiful. This is the first sword you've gotten that wasn't a hand-me-down from somebody, isn't it? That's great. Yeah. Well, be careful. Oh, bring me a souvenir, something nice. I've never been to Melior before. Miss, I'm not going on vacation. Sheesh. Alright, Ike's first test as a leader. Capital Way. I'm assuming that means it is the way to the capital. Very astute. Standing around looking at nothing. Are you feeling alright, Ike? You haven't said a word in quite some time. I don't understand what my father's doing. Why put a new recruit like me in charge of something so important? You're gonna succeed him as our commander one day. Don't you think he wants you to know how to lead? Me? I don't know if I'm capable. And even if I am, that day's a long way off, right? I mean, I'm inexperienced, weak. I'm nothing compared to my father. I'm not so sure about that. When I look at you, I see a young man full of promise. Aw, thanks, Riss. Commander Grail is a great man, but I think you'll be every bit as equal. In time, you might even surpass him. Don't be ridiculous. It's just my opinion. You need not pay it any mind. Yet, if you fear your own weakness, why not take this chance to go out and better yourself? That would be more in keeping with your personality, no? I suppose you're right. How do things look over there, Soren? Same as here. There are corpses strewn everywhere. There are quite a lot of them, especially when you consider how far we are from the capital. Are they Crimean? Judging by the armor, the vast majority of the dead are Daein soldiers. So Crimea has the upper hand. Just the opposite, I think. The Crimean soldiers were members of the Imperial Guard. That means King Raymond, or another member of the royal family, was on the move when Daein soldiers fell on them. Could it have been Lord Renning? No, as long as the Crimean army still draws breath, Lord Renning will not leave their command. Perhaps another member of the court? We've got Daein soldiers moving in on our location, and they don't look happy. Uh-oh. Boom, 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 boom. Well, hello, Brando dude. Ah, Majin, you there, who are you? What are you doing here? We're no one you need. You're armed, heed me, drop your weapons and surrender. Act quickly or else. Listen to me, fool, you're making a mistake. We're not going to cooperate, eh? Ready your weapons, men, move in and kill them all. Headstrong fools. Getting caught up in some skirmish is not part of the plan. But they're obviously not going to listen to us. Real mercenaries, get ready to fight. They got a lot of units there. Alright, Ike, let's see how you handle the role of captain. Well, what are your orders, boy? We'll do what you say so long as you hurry up and spit it out. I know. I'm thinking. Give me a moment, will you, Shinon? Bah, useless. We'd be better led with Miss than this soft, untested whelp. Let's see. We're in the middle of the road, and there's not much cover. Soren and Riss are vulnerable, so we have to protect them from enemy attacks, right? That's a sound strategy. I can attack from behind your defenses. Good thing. Do you mean that? Alright, let's do that then. Thanks for the battle plan, Ike. So yeah, we can't choose units, they're all force deployed, and we can't bring Oscar and Ike. In terms of viewing the map, so we have a lot of lances, so Ike's going to be at a severe disadvantage here. Except against like sword and axe guy. There's a bow guy there. One thing to note is not all the enemies are the same, so some of them have iron lances and are pretty weak. Others are a little bit stronger, and then this guy has a steel lance that he actually drops. So this guy drops his iron lance, And then Majid here, he drops his javelin. He's pretty strong, as we can see. And then this is a night killer, so it's going to do increased damage to Titania if she's on horseback. So what that means is it's going to double the MT, the might. So instead of having 7 might plus the strength, it'll have 14 plus the strength. So he'll have 20 attack, which will do 9 damage to Titania. So not a ton, it's not a super massive deal, but something to watch out for. So yeah. That's why it's important to go through the weapons, just to make sure you don't get caught unawares of weapons that might deal effective damage. So we can reposition. So like we could put Titania over here or something. I generally like the positioning how it is. So we're just going to save and go for it. So if Ike runs up here, he can attack this guy for 10 damage at most. How much can Soren do? Soren can do 7. So Soren's a mage. Magic is really important because it has 1 to 2 range. So unlike Shinon, who only has 2, and unlike Ike, who only has 1, Soren can attack at both 1 range and 2 range. So if an enemy runs up to attack Soren, he can attack back. Magic also is our first mage who uses magic, and magic attacks on resistance instead of defense, like our physical units, right? So like Ike and Shinon and stuff. So Soren has 8 attack, right? Because he has 6 magic plus 2 MT might, so that's 8. This guy has 1 resistance, and so that's why Soren's able to do 7 damage. So pretty solid amounts of damage from Soren there. Shinon might not kill this guy, so we'll go for that first. Nice. So he didn't kill, which is great. And so that means we're good. So Soren's only level 1. Soren's actually a pretty strong unit, and we're going to try to train him up a little bit. But he is very squishy, or as Ike said, very vulnerable. He only has 18 HP and 2 defense. Luckily, he has more speed than Riss. He gets weighed down by 1 because there's a WT, a weight of 1 for his wind tone, but he has 0 strength, so he has 7 attack speed. So he'll be fine against like this guy, for example, because this guy, his lance has 8 weight, right? So he has 5 attack speed. So we're gonna put Ike in front of Soren and Shinon. Yeah. And then we'll have Ike hold on to the iron. We'll just kind of trade with Soren, give Soren the Thief Band. And then we'll put Titania here. Gotta remember to re-equip her axe. We'll put Gatry here. Honestly, we'll put Gatry here. And then Riss will just run behind. And so this way we kind of walled up. Now Shinon's fine. He's really strong, so we didn't have to worry about him too much. So Ike did a great amount of damage against that guy. Good dodges from Ike. And he's doing a good amount of damage too. Oh, now he has C swords, I think. And Gatry killed there. That's great. Ooh, a steel lance. That could go to Titania. So there's a lot of units. This is a good example of when you might want to consider walling off. So let's see what we can do. Soren could actually kill this soldier or this one. So the reason I want Soren to kill this soldier here is because then Ike could attack this guy and not get attacked back. So we'll just do that. Now that blue meant that Soren activated his skill called Adept. So we'll go and read what Adept does. So Adept grants this unit 2 consecutive attacks. Or in other words, it gives him an extra attack. So Soren was doing 7 times 2. Because he activated Adept, he would have attacked 3 times instead of 2. So it's a really awesome skill. So we'll let Ike kill that guy. And then we just have to be careful that these guys can't get around us. So one thing I can do is I could have Shinon step back here and kill this guy. And then Titania can run up, attack this guy, and then move in front of Shinon. In that thicket here, because Titania can move after attacking. And then Gatry just comes up here. No, Gatry will come here. So the reason I didn't want him to come up here is because if this guy moved around Gatry, he could attack Soren. So if I move Gatry here, this guy can't attack Soren. And then if we just move Riss, we'll count. So he has 6 moves, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we just move Riss 1 space back, he's safe. And then this way, they'll just attack Ike or Gatry. Ike has done incredibly well against these enemies, considering he has disadvantage against them. And so now what we can do is we can kind of start moving forward. And so like Soren could run up, kill this guy. Because there's no more enemies in the surrounding area, right? And so like, we don't need to be all holed up anymore. Get some magic and speed. Oh, just HP. Come on, Soren. After I said he was a good unit too, huh? And then Ike can finish up there. Riss can heal up Ike. Alright, strength, speed. Ike, strength and speed. Strength, speed, luck. I mean, it would have been cool if he had gotten skill and defense, but strength and speed are pretty essential at this point. So this guy could attack Ike and not get attacked back. If he attacks Soren, he'll do 7 damage to Soren, and Soren will do 7 damage. And if we think this guy has 5 weight, so he has 2 speed, Soren has 7 speed, so he would do 7 times 2. And so what I want to do then is I want to get Ike out of range so that he doesn't, so that the archer attacks Soren instead of Ike. So what I can do is I can use the rescue method. So I rescue up Ike, and then I use Titania here to take and drop. And then I can move Titania back up. And then that way, Ike he's not rescued anymore, so he can still move and attack next turn. But also, he can, he's out of the way now. And so now Soren will be able to do 7 times 2 to this archer. So Soren took a big hit, but he activated Adept, which means he's actually going to kill this archer. Because the Adept gave him an extra attack. Oh wow, he activated Adept again. That's crazy. And so now the other soldiers might move? Nope. And so now we can kind of just get in range of those guys. So one thing is we might not want to get in range of the boss. We'll kind of just bring on everyone else instead. And so the reason I want to bring Titania here is because then that more effectively blocks off these guys. And so then what I want to do is bring up... So I have to be careful here. So if I bring up Soren here, then I can have Riss heal him. Because he had that big hit, so we want to make sure we heal. Because there's another archer. Now generally the enemies in Fire Emblem are going to attack people who don't attack them back first. And then they'll attack after that people who could attack them back. So Soren shouldn't be attacked by anything. That archer's probably going to attack Ike if I had to guess. But that's okay, because Ike can handle it. This is why I like giving that Seraph robe to Ike, because he's able to take a lot more hits than he was previously able to do. So yep, there's Gatry taking no damage and doing a good amount. That's kind of just what he does. And there we go. So now we have a good amount of enemies to deal with. Let's see if Soren can kill here. Nice. So I really like taking out archers. I think those are generally high priority targets because they can attack you without getting attacked back. So what we could do is we could have Gatry kill this knight here, or this soldier. And then Shinon can move behind Gatry and take out the archer. So yep, strength and defense. There's Gatry getting his old reliable stats. And then Shinon can run up and just take out the archer there. And the archer actually does no damage to Shinon, which is great. And then Ike could either take out the archer or the soldier. We'll just take out the soldier here. And then Titania can take out the archer. And then we can have Riss run up and heal Ike. So one thing I forgot to mention is Ike got this new sword, the Regal Sword. The Regal Sword is something that only Ike can wield. It has less weight than an Iron Sword, but it actually has 2 more might, and 5 more hit, and 10 crit. So it's a pretty strong sword. The other really nice thing about the Regal Sword is it does effective damage against armor knights and horseback units. So that's pretty nice. So we're going to take out this this archer with Titania, so that the archer can't attack Riss. And so then that soldier's going to attack Gatry. He's the one with the Knight Killer who does increased damage against effective damage against horseback units like Titania. So it was good that Gatry was able to take him on. Grr, blasted mercenaries! They're better than I expected. Even so, they'll not prove a match for Daein's finest. And that guy's going to attack Gatry with his javelin. So javelins are kind of like magic in that they have 1 to 2 range. So they can attack both at close range and farther range. But they have lower hit, so that theoretically they have lower chances to hit. So I wanted to show this, Ike's Regal Sword is flashing white. That means it has this effective damage that I was talking about. So instead of having just 7 plus 9, 7 might plus 9, it really has 14 plus 9, which equals 23. And so 23 minus 11 would be 12 times 2. Ike does 10 times 2 because of weapon triangle disadvantage. The other thing to note is armor knights often are weak to mages. So Soren's a good candidate to... I mean, he does 7 damage to this guy, which is great. And I think if Soren gets a speed... Yeah, if Soren gets... No, if Soren gets a strength and a speed, he would be able to double that guy too. So we could give the kill to Ike, we could give to Soren, we could give to Gatry, honestly. Whatever works. We'll kind of do a 10 times 2 here with Ike. That would leave him with 12. Gatry could do 9, and then Soren could finish off. So let's try that. Bah! You're nothing more than a bunch of ragtag sellswords. Who are you to oppose Daein? You are so terribly ignorant of your position in this world. You refuse to listen to us, and then you attack without provocation. Is this the way of the Daein army? You're a cheeky little monkey, aren't you? Once you're dead, you'll regret sassing me. Huh, good dodge. Oh, Ike did a critical, which killed the guy, and that meant Soren did not get the kill, which is okay. Ah, wretched curs! You will regret your decision to oppose Daein. Strength, speed, magic, skill, speed, and res. I mean, res is helpful. And we got a javelin. So we're going to drop this iron sword. It only had 9 uses left, so we got a good amount of use from it. Did we suffer any casualties? Any wounded or dead? No? Excellent. Well done. I don't know. Taking out these Daein soldiers may have been a bad move. Hey Shinon, what are you doing? This swine's got some nice weapons. Besides, he ain't gonna complain. He won't need them where he's going. Shinon, get a hold of yourself. We can't afford such behavior right now. Steal from the dead on your own time. What? You judgmental little... Soren, Shinon, stop this at once. This is no place for us to waste time bickering amongst ourselves. Let's clear out of here. We have to tell the commander what happened. Let's take this road. We should be able to cut through the forest and... Huh? Something wrong? No, as I said, this road... What's that? Wait, Ike! I just saw something move on the far side of that thicket. A wounded soldier, perhaps? Let's go have a look. Careful now. Oh no. Did you find anything, Riss? It's a woman. Leave her. We shouldn't get involved in matters that don't concern us. Oh. Thank goodness. It looks like she's merely fainted. Right, we'd better take her with us for now and make sure she's alright. Give me a hand, will you, Riss? Of course. I don't like this. I've got a bad feeling about this, is like what Soren was saying. Alright, so there's chapter 4, and the story moves along. So yeah, thanks for joining us on this episode, and we hope to see you next time.